It is finally time for the last Björk album in her discography that I'm going to do until this point, which is called Utopia. Um, it's a 2017 album that came out before for Sora, which was pretty interestingly, I think, the first one I reviewed in the discography besides debut, which was like more than a half a year ago, which is crazy to think. Um, and in that time, I listened to so much Björk music. It's so normal to me, and still thinking about there's still some left. It's amazing. Still a whole album which is over a span of 1 hour. Some people love it. I heard that some people thought it's a little bit too weird, too much. Um, of course, over the span of 6 months, I also kind of got the feeling what people really loved, or what are the favorites by the fans of Björk and so on. The first thing I always heard, people hate this album cover. I looked at it and I thought, I don't even know what this is. But Björk is Björk. Her album covers are always a little bit weird. But anyways, production is by Arca. We had some Arca production on the 2015 album Wonikura, which was amazing. There was some tracks which were produced by Arca. So now with finishing the Kick series, I'm really looking forward to this one right here. Um, I don't know what else I have to say, really. The first track is called Arisen My Senses. Let's jump right into it.
Just that kiss and silent my bodies lined up through like just that kiss was all there is. Weaving a mixtape with every cry of faith. In my heart.
What amazing production for a Star Trek. It's really explosive, it's really grand. Um, I love the hi-hats on this one. You can really hear the art production on this one. It sounds a little bit like Kick 1, if I really think about it. Just very ethereal and wide. A lot of reverb on some of these instrumentals. Um, I love the kick on this one. And the writing is really interesting. Just that kiss was all there. All there was all there is. Damn, whatever. Every cell in my body lined up to you, legs a little open, once again awaken my senses, and so on. Um, it still sounds for me, it's very romantic. Maybe goes a little bit back to the writing of Vespertine, which has my favorite lyrics in writing, besides Homogenic. But right here, it gives me the kind of like the feeling of that stuff right there. Also with this really nice harp on here, sounds a little bit like Medulla, not Medulla, um, Biophilia. My bad. It has a little bit something of everything in our discovery, which is amazing. But I really see that the 2022 album is just like really very different. Um, and also Medulla. They're just like these very single albums by Arcade, which are just like very different. But well, I think I really like this so far. Arisen My Senses is a really nice opener for this album right here. I enjoy this track. Um, the writing, I don't know who she refers to. Maybe her previous husband, but there's like positive romanticism and so on. Some maybe not. I'm not 100% sure, or just speaking generally. Um, but well, nice. Let's move on.
Awaken my senses. Just up to you. Is all
Yeah, Arisen My Senses was a beautiful, grand first track, which I really loved as the first track. I think that's one of the best openers I had in Björk albums, which says a lot. Um, I don't know why the production of Arca really suits there. There were some tracks on Vertical where I thought, well, it's a little bit different, something more to get used to, but I think it really helped listening to more Arca before listening to this album, because now I really love this, because I can really feel that Arca really put a lot of work into making this thing like a big piece of art. And I think that Arisen My Senses, the first track, is genius. Um, I'm feeling something between a 9 and a 10 for the first track, Arisen My Senses. That was beautiful. Um, there was so much also going on with the instrumental while not being too much, which I always love if it's a lot to get kind of used to, maybe, or you can dive into so many different instruments that are involved, but also it's not too chaotic, and that's beautiful. Also, there were like double, sometimes triple vocals at the same time, but that's a typical Björk, I think. You just using so many vocals also as an instrument, if you think about also medulla. But yeah, that was amazing. I hope this album will continue like that. Right. So let's see what the second track will do, which is called Blissing Me. Let's listen.
a blessing to music nerds obsessing, falling in love to a song. These haunts are mist of regret, in love with this song. Why would it be trespassing?
The writing is way more diverse than on the first track, even very abstract and really hard to get into. All of my notes was getting no into the air. I'm missing him. Is this access texting a blessing? What? I mean, I guess the first two things, but then is this access texting a blessing? What? Sending each other MP3s falling in love to a song. This handsomest of wicker men. He asked if I could wait for him, and so on. There's a lot of talk about like this certain partner or something. I don't really 100% sure who really Björk talks about here. So I think that the instrumentals are not as focused than on the first track. I still like them as much, and the writing is really interesting to get even more deeper into, which is making it pretty different from the first track, which I like. Though the writing is so weird. Touching and caressing me, but would it be trespassing? Wanting him to be blissing me, robbing him of his youth. What? Well, anyways. Cliffhanger like suspension. My longing has found its own skeleton. Well, anyways, getting back from the writing to the production, there are a lot of harps. Like the second track also goes into harps, and the microbeat stuff also really come through on this one. It really sounds like getting a Vespertine, where not 100% the same, because they are not like big crescendos and big string parts. I don't think we had any strings so far, which makes this pretty different. But still, I like this track.
The interior of these melodies is perhaps where we are meant to be. So I reserve my own intimacy. Did I just fall in love with love?
I love the melody at the end where the hubs really get into it and sounds really almost like a crescendo, just though using diverse melody structures. It doesn't get louder, more like very melodic. Is that the thing I'm looking for? I'm not really sure. But Ark really put a lot of work into production, and that's my favorite part so far because the lyrics are pretty hard to get into, but though very interesting, and that makes it very interesting duo so far, I would say, for this album, which I love. For the second track, I also saw just that the lyrics are so much to get into. Like every single sentence right here says something different, which makes it really interesting. But longing has found its own skeleton, bridging the gap between singletons, sending each other's these songs, like always talking about like this MP3s, falling in love to song, and sending each other these songs and so on, and talking about love. Like creating music just to have a bond to someone else through the things you maybe produce. Maybe that's just the thing Arca wants to convey here. Not Arca, Björk, anyways. Maybe that's the thing. But well, on the second track I'm feeling something between a 7 and an 8, but more an 8. Pretty great. Let's see what the third track will do, which is called The Gate. Let's listen.
My healed chest wound transform where I give love from. Care for you, care for you. I care for you, care for you. If you care for me, care for me. Care for me, care for me.
What a beautiful track. I love this one. I love the harp on this one. Like it's I'm not sure, a vocoded bass plus synth plug thing, which just like ups all through this melody, which sounds awesome. Though this whole track is very anti Björk uses it in the most perfect way ever. Like these chorus, like this care for me, and it's beautiful. Um, and that through the writing of this chorus makes this one of the most beautiful tracks in her discography I've heard, which says a lot. Yeah, this track is a masterpiece so far, I think, in my opinion. Amazing. Let's listen more.
Didn't used to be so needy. I can care for you, care for you. I care for you, care for you. I care for you,
Now I think that The Gate is a beautiful track. It starts really slow though with some like sounds that I can't even really. I don't really know what this is. It's some like field recordings. Like you hear some like people shouting or something, or like calling. I'm not really sure what that really is. But yeah, I think that The Gate is just a beautiful track. Especially with the thing I talked about, like this combination of this beautiful harp and her voice, just like really makes this one a 10. I'm not sure really, but yeah, for me it is. Beautiful track. So let's listen to the next one, which is called Utopia. This is a title track. Oh damn, okay. Let's see what the title track has for us. Let's listen.
species never seen or heard
No, this actually sounds like For Sorrow, but it sounds like in Utopia. There are these like very futuristic, beautiful, and natural sounds. The flute is amazing to that, and as you may know, I love For Sorrow, and for that I also love this instrumentation. I think it really suits just Björk, just like the sounds of nature. There was also one track on Vunikura which had this kind of sound. I can't remember the name though, but it was also beautiful and goes into this direction. Yeah, for sure. I love this. I think that Utopia is a beautiful track. I wish though a little bit I would got a little bit more into the writing though. Huge toxic tumor bulging underneath the ground here. Maybe something also has to do with like someone who had a tumor. I'm not 100% sure. To be intentional about the light, Utopia, it isn't elsewhere, it's here. Though I love the sound design on this track, it makes it really beautiful. So still, I'm feeling a 7 on this one. Could be a little bit more. Still, nice track. let's see what the next track will do, which is called Body Memory, which is the longest track on the album, I think, was almost 10 minutes. So let's see what this will do. Let's listen.
Of winter, I'm walking hills and valleys. A door says I've been wrestling my fate. Do I with my destiny refuse to accept what was meant to be? River through a keyhole can't fathom the ground. My limbs and tongue take over.
Really interesting tracks of Body Memory is a track which is very multi-layered. We even has some like big vocals on this one, or choirs, which sound really amazing on this one. The drums sound very hardcore. That makes sense if you know what I mean. The way Björk sings right here, it could be a little bit more. Like, I know that Arkel has some really great vocals where she really like throws her voice just out there. I wish she would do it, but right here says da 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 da, and it's just a little bit the same, which makes this kind of a little bit meh. But still, I think that is still has some beautiful production. And let's see what else this track has, because we're not even at the halfway. Well, anyways.
Sexual DNA, X-rays of my Kama Sutras. Body memory kicks in. It simply takes over. Body memory kicks in. On this Brooklyn dance floor, sweating with East rhythm, Kafkaesque force like patriarchy, avoidance, my turn to defend. Memory kicks in. Balsams and embraces. The other is growing.
Well, as Body Memory is the longest track, it has the longest lyrics also, of course. Like, there is no real hesitating with like big instrumental parts. It's just like lyrics, lyrics, lyrics. There's so much into that track. Some really weird things, some that really got me questioning what the hell is even going on, and some things that were really interesting. Like sometimes Björk talks about like Kama Sutras and Wolverine and body memory, and what there at the end was that. Well, anyways, I still think the body memory has some great production throughout. Still, the only nitpick I have is Arca's vocals on this one. Still, feeling something between a 7 and an 8 on this one. Alright, so let's see what's the next track we'll do, which is called Features Creatures. Let's listen.
and goes to same record stores. I literally think I am 5, asking directions with the same beard as yours. I literally think Googling love, warming my heart on this log fire of love.
Really interesting track right here. It has the least instrumentals on all the tracks so far, which has some really eerie word kind of flute. I'm not really 100% sure, which sounds very ambient, eerie, and I'm not sure really suits the writing on this one. I really think I'm 5 minutes away from now when I hear someone with the same accent as yours and someone just like always talking about this one person. Warming my heart on this log fire of love, like gooey love, assembling a man, shuffling your features, creatures, and so on. Really interesting writing. Right here, there's also some other instruments coming in. Let's see what happens. Really interesting track. I love the instrumental choices at the end. There's some really weird sounds. Also, the vocalers through the vocal effects really add something else. I like that track. Very good. 8. Nice. So damn weird. Like this album had everything so far, but Arca really like put some great production into this one. That's amazing. Let's see what's the next track we do, which is called Courtship. Let's listen.
He turned me down, I then down turned another, who then down turned her. The pot warms up in the light, I then upturned a green-eyed giant who upturned and entered me. As you narrate your
Courtship is one of the most chaotic tracks on this tracklist so far. It sounds very for Sora. Also, the more nature something I also talked about. This sounds a little bit like Utopia, just with drums, some really weird drums, which I'm not a huge fan of, but I still like the approach on this one. I'm really interested where this else goes. We have like 4 sentences left and some like a little bit of time on this. Maybe some instrumentals. I don't know, but the instrumentals on this one very predictable. Maybe that's also why, or maybe because I already listened to Vasara. That's maybe why. But anyways, let's continue. So yeah, the outro of this track has just like an instrumental, some field recording stuff also. I think it's the first time I've ever heard field recording stuff in the discography, which occurred at like 3 or 4 tracks so far on this album, which is pretty interesting and something very utopian, which makes sense. But yeah, on that track, I'm feeling a 7. I would just wish like the parts before that had a little bit more content for me to pull out something special or something. I'm not really sure, because it sounds so unique, but there wasn't like that much to pull out actually. Well, anyways, let's see what the next track will do, which is called Lost. Also was another feature besides Arca, which is called Rabbit, I think. Let's listen.
Two in our past, we've gone through the grinder, felt love, soft is my chest. I didn't allow loss make Bounty sense of full satisfaction. We all have suffered. How we make up for it defines who loss of faith just ignites survivor bondage. Freedom through orchids on.
Lost is an amazing track. It's the most harshest track and also extreme track. The almost dubstep like electronics are amazing. It's really crunchy, almost, if I could say that. But yeah, I love the instrumentals on this one. I don't know why it's so perfect for the songwriting also. We're all struggling, just doing our best. We've gone through the grinder, suffered loss. And this track really sounds like a grinder. Like it's so, these grinding synths, and it's really roaring through the mix. It's amazing. It really encapsulates all of the writing right here. Amazing.
My spine hurts. Enough to
I think that Loss is a perfect track for this album. Also, kind of like maybe a shift for this album. I just heard like the first 2 seconds of the next track. It sounds also really weird and heavy. Well, anyways, just from the 2 seconds. But anyways, well, I think that this track is like this extremity really encapsulated this album perfectly in that sense in the writing. The outro of this instrumentals were amazing, genius. I don't know how much really this feature rap it did, but I guess a lot. Maybe it's also why there's so much of this. What do you call it? This, like dubstep vibe. I'm not really sure if it's a vibe, or a sound in general. But yeah, I love that. Amazing. Feeling a 9. Yeah, let's see what the next track will do. Damn, it sounds so weird. The track is called Sue Me. I'm wondering if Björk talks about a previous husband. Well, anyways, let's listen.
My clear dark clouds, my left eye broken. All you want, I want. Denounce their origin. To spare our girl, I won't let her get cut in half ever. Denounce our origin. Sue me, sue me, so it won't fall on our daughter and her daughter and her daughter. Sue me.
What an amazing track also. It really gets into this more aggressive kind of type. Or this maybe this feeling of like, well, do whatever you want. I don't care. And that in a very like badass way. I don't know why this track really gives me the feeling of that. From this writing, like the sue me, sue me, sue me. It's funny, but yeah, I think that this track is really great in that sense. The instrumentals add are all very different. Like the drums sounds very different to these flutes. The flute sounds very different to these little vocal chops thrown in. It's a little bit weird. It's all like mixing this weird kind of salad. I mean, it's the same. Well, this morning I'm going to eat strawberries with meat and potatoes and oranges and eggs. It's like this weird mixture, and you're just saying, what is this? Kind of works in a weird way. Well, that was a weird explanation, but anyways, yeah, I think this track has its vibe. Let's see how it will end up. I think Sue Me really works in the way this tracks just like builds in a like these very different forms of ideas and sounds. Feeling an 8. Great stuff. Let's see what the next track will do, which is called Tabula Rasa. It's a 4-minute track. I think we have 4 tracks left. Let's see what this track will do. Let's listen.
We are all swollen
Very interesting writing. There's these weirdly swirling around strings also in the mix. While it's not much, I think that the vocals are amazing. Not Arca. Damn, why am I so bad at this right now? Anyways, like Björk really uses high tones and really pushing it, and I love when she does that. That's amazing.
Thought ours was the only one.
Well, I think that Tabula Rasa is a beautiful produced track, and the vocals really um, have the perfect sound I always want Björk to have, because when there are like many arpeggios and using many direct double kind of octave switches are amazing, and they always sound beautiful, like on this track. Um, Feeling innate on this track, Tabula Rasa, beautiful. Let's see what's the next track we do, which is a pretty short track with 3 minutes actually for this album, which is called Claimstaker. Let's listen.
With my sense, with my body, a physicality. I inhale
Pretty interesting like vocal arps on this track, though as a 3 minute track it really gathers really not that much. I walk through this lands, take a claim. What's my sense? What's my bar? Mark my nose, was song and so on. Like the lyrics really doesn't do anything for me. It's not really like a special track for this album. I think the vocals really doesn't do anything new. I'm not sure. I'm just left with not much. Feeling a 6. I don't know why. Maybe with more distance I will get something special throughout of this. Well, anyways. Let's see what's the next track we'll do, which is the shortest track on this album, which is called Paradisia. With 1 minute 44 seconds. Let's see what this track will do, which is an instrumental also. Let's see. Well, Paradisia is just a little interlude with some really nice flutes, which kind of reminds me of the Little Sims album with some of those interludes. I don't know why, because it's the rap album, which is something very different. Well, anyways, I think that Paradisia still has some really nice background field recording for some birds, and I don't know what some else of that stuff was. Well, anyways, I think it's a nice little contribution to the album. Sure, why not? Let's see what's the next one we do, which is called Saint. Let's listen. What a beautiful ethereal part right here, which is so wide. Beautiful instruments. The flutes are very orchestral, bright, and straight in your face, which is awesome on this track right here. Music loves too, and right there she sings that way. This music is just so lovable and beautiful, which makes this track really, really great. This is one of my favorites so far. Damn. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. That's one of my favorites Aka tracks for sure. That was amazing. I have to give this track this. Ten, monumental, beautiful. Wow. Beautiful. She reaches out to orphans and refugees. Like talking about this she. Her favorite childhood moments were at a hospital for the disabled. I've seen her offer empathy to widows. She attends funerals of strangers. Her strongest memory is feeding children with leprosy. Music heals too. I'm here to defend it. Wow. Like every single word in this lyrics of this track is beautiful and very well thought out. Wow. That blew me away. I didn't expect at the end of this album to be such a great track. Wow. It's a perfect Björk track right here. One of the best I've ever heard. Wow. Straight up there with Unison. Let's see what the last track will do, which is called Future Forever. Let's listen. That's some of the most beautiful Björk vocals I've ever heard. The production is very minimalistic, which makes no sense after the last track Saint, which was such a grand track. And right here was a little outro, some beautiful vocals, very calm. I love this outro, so it's perfect for this album. Let's listen.
Watch me form new nests, weave a matriarchal dome. You see, I mirror people's missions at them. Now you mirror at me who I
What a beautiful last track, Future Forever right here. I think I'm feeling a 9 on that one. Because this could be like one of the best Arco or art pop tracks ever. If it would be just like, you know what I mean? Just like Unison in a way. But I hate to do that. Well, it's not like that. Because of that, it's not perfect. Well, Vespertina is the perfect outro. And this one right here is a perfect outro, but not the perfect outro, if you know what I mean. I hope you get what I mean. As an outro, this would be like, it's perfect as it is, and it really helps the album to really close out in a perfect, calm, and wow way. Like, those were some of the most relaxing, beautiful, stunning vocals Björk has done in a while. So for that, Future Forever is really a really good track. So that was it. That was Utopia. What a beautiful album. I had a lot of fun. I hope you too. And I will have a lot more fun with some more listens, and then I will give you a rating, right? With some additional thoughts. I see you there. Beautiful hour. So yeah, nice to see you again. After listening to some Utopia for 3 days, it's an amazing album. It's a beautiful album. It really has a sense of like hopefulness for the future and a love for nature also. It really goes into different themes about love, about like interhuman relationship, if you know what I mean. And for that, it really dives into some really beautiful lyrics that word for word are just really well thought out by Björk right there. Also judging that Björk has gone through some like difficulties with her voice because of her throat or lungs. I'm not really sure what it really was again. And the fear of losing her voice. Maybe sometimes I really have to think about that, because before that, Björk was always like really using her voice in a very aggressive and out of their voice, which maybe makes also the difference why she kind of like sets it a little bit back. That's a nitpick I had throughout listening to this album, which is maybe bullshit, because that's not really the point of this album. The point of this album is just the beautiful sound of nature with the field recordings, the beautiful production by Arco, which is really set in the world that Björk really wanted to paint right here, which is a wow. For example, if you just like take the gate, features creatures, or maybe just like Courtship, which was not my favorite tracks, but it obviously has that. And all of that really makes this album really beautiful. There were also some really like heavy tracks, for example, like Loss or Sue Me, which are not aggressive in a way that it's not understandable or just too much. It's understandable, and you really get into the feeling. And after that, it really calms down again, like the transitions in between tracks. The flow of this album is perfect in that sense, which you can really see when it goes from Paradisia, which is a perfect interlude, into Saint and Future Forever with the last 2 tracks, which are 2 additions I absolutely love. Like, this combination of Saint and Future Forever is some of the best I've heard in art pop ever. And especially Saint is a gift. I don't even know why it has so less or so little listens besides every other track. Is it underrated? I'm not sure. I think it is. It's a perfect track. From the writing to the sound to the way the different instruments got chosen and threw in and orchestrated. It's beautiful. And yeah, so those were just some additional thoughts coming to this one. Maybe not a lot for the last Arco album in her discography, which is a little bit weird to think about, having something finished. This is the first thing I finished on my channel besides Elliott Smith. And for Elliott Smith and Björk, I wanted to do something special, like a big video about like talking about every single aspect. I'm still working on that for Elliott Smith, and I also want to start working on that for Björk. Right at the moment, I'm also very busy. I'm kind of sad for that on Elliott Smith, but I have something for that. I wanted to really pick every single point of my reviews out, talk about it, why all of each individual track, what are my favorites, what is my favorite album, why, what are some things maybe some other people say, what are some criticisms, what are my thoughts about that. I want to do something of an really like a deconstruction of like a whole discography, if you know what I mean. And at the end of my discography tours, I really want to do that. And that's the same thing I want to do with Arca right here, and also with Elliott Smith. I don't know when I will have finished that, because it's a lot to go through and a lot of listening. You can't just really dig into an artist in just 1 year with an artist that has more like 10 albums. It's impossible. Even at like Elliott Smith, who has like 5 or 6 albums, I think it's a lot. You don't really think about that. But well, getting away from that, this Utopia album was beautiful. Yeah, I'm feeling a decent to strong 8. I'm really surprised it was going with such a high number. Some people don't like this album. I don't understand that. It's a beautiful album. So yeah, I will see you at the next review, at the next stuff. I think the next video will be the Swans Records Glowing Man. I think it's a long album. Really looking forward to the next Swans album, because they had a streak, 2 albums, 2 attends, back to back. Let's see if that's going to continue with the streak. Oh, I will see you.